Corda key concepts. When it comes to understanding Corda, there's some concepts that we really need to know before we move on. When it comes to Corda, it is important to know that it's targeted towards financial trades and transactions. It provides effectively organizations that require a global ledger effectively the ability to transact directly with each other. And because of that, we need to have some form of governance, and this is done through effectively R3 and any of the participating organizations. We'll have more on that coming up. Now, the code base with Corda is written using Kotlin, and it targets JetBeans effectively around the JVM. However, it is important to note that when it comes to development and deployment of effectively our smart contracts, we can, of course, use JavaScript as well. Now, smart contracts in Corda are going to execute basically with computer code as we would expect, and it provides what is called legal prose, which is typically, in the right scenario, could be legally enforceable. We'll discuss that a little bit more coming up. When it comes to developing, again, these smart contracts, you can attach basically a document that is effectively going to provide what is called legal prose. Now, Corda networks are effectively the ecosystem. It is important, again, to know that when we deploy a blockchain, we need to have a network that is going to be part of the ecosystem. These ledgers are going to be shared between nodes and hold the facts. Basically, when we think of what a fact is and a state and changes, how effectively the blockchain can change or update, there's a lot that goes into that. But basically, we want to, of course, think about when we're deploying these core DApps, these are going to be distributed applications. Now, when we make a change, for example, to the ledger, that's going to represent typically any shared facts. What we want to think about, again, when it comes to what is effectively a fact, this is really more or less a state change to the ledger. So again, a little bit confusing with some of the terms. We're going to talk more about these, but I did want to make sure before we get to the core DApp and smart contract section in development that we sort of grasp some of the terms that we are going to run into over and over. Transactions. Now, transactions do what? They update the state of the ledger. So remember, states represent shared facts on the ledger. So when we update the state of the ledger, what are we doing? We're effectively changing the shared facts. Remember, shared facts are what? These are going to be changes made that can be viewed either by one node or multiple nodes in the Corda network. Then we have contracts. So contracts effectively govern the way the states can evolve over time effectively. So that's how things can change. Flows, on the other hand, describe effectively interactions that will occur between parties, how to achieve consensus. Basically, they're typically deployed to satisfy what is called a business requirement. When it comes to other concepts and terms, these are, again, the most important. There's some other ones we'll talk about when we get more to what is effectively the core DApp section, which is going to be notaries, what a vault is, what an oracle is, what is a deterministic JVM. So there's a lot more terms coming, but I want to cover the ones that I felt were most important to cover first. Let's now move on to the next lesson.